What's going on, everybody? If Emerald Isle and the Crystal Coast are your favorite beach destinations, this video is for you. Hi, everybody. My name is Dennis, and I help people interested in living or vacationing along the Outer Banks to learn more about what's happening in Emerald Isle and along the Crystal Coast. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell to get my latest uploads every week. I've been fascinated with lighthouses since I visited the Sandy Hook Lighthouse in my home state of New Jersey as a kid. This unique octagonal tower is the oldest operating lighthouse in the United States. I didn't come across another octagonal tower until I visited Old Baldy Lighthouse on Smith or Bald Head Island here in North Carolina. Most lighthouses are round because a circular building can withstand high winds and waves. They also use fewer floor, wall, and roof materials to enclose the same square footage as an angular structure. But I digress. Cape Lookout National Seashore Park and the Cape Lookout Lighthouse are in the news because work is about to commence on saving both from falling into the ocean. The work will also make it safer for visitors to reach the seashore and lighthouse in the only way possible, by boat. As I record this video, Next Generation Logistics, the company contracted for the work, is staging dredging equipment near the Cape Lookout Visitor Center on Harkers Island. The company plans to stage 5,000 feet of pipe, roughly the length of 17 football fields, at any given time. It has 10-inch pipe and 18-inch pipe to handle the volume of sand it will be moving. The dredging will make the channels from Harkers Island to the federally protected Barrier Island, the main public access to Cape Lookout, safer and more accessible. The dredged sand will be used for beach nourishment to protect Cape Lookout Lighthouse and nearby historic structures from constant soundside erosion. Dredging will start this week. When completed and opened back up, the channel will be 7 to 9 feet deep and 100 feet wide and accessible to both commercial boats and deep draft vessels as well as private vessels. It will be the cat's meow as far as getting back and forth between Harkers Island and the lighthouse. The sand dredged while repairing the channel will be placed on the interior or soundside beach next to the lighthouse complex, where the passenger ferry docks. The lightkeeper's quarters and the summer kitchen are between the lighthouse and the shoreline. By the way, no keeper ever called it a lighthouse. It was always a light. The summer kitchen right now is right at the high tide line, and the keeper's quarters is about 30 feet from the high tide line. It will take 38,000 cubic yards of sand, roughly equivalent to 1,300 dump truck loads for those doing the math, and it will stretch some 400 yards in front of the lighthouse complex. Any remaining sand will be added to create an open water island called Sandbag Island to provide habitat for nesting shorebirds. If funding becomes available, the next plan will be to put in a living shoreline to hold down the sand in place. The deadline to finish the work is April 1st because of marine wildlife protection. Once dredging starts, it will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Preserving our coast is paramount to those of us who live here in Carteret County. This project not only ensures the safety and accessibility of our waterways, but also reaffirms our commitment to the environment. We are proud to have partnered with the National Park Service in the state of North Carolina to undertake this project, ensuring that the Cape Lookout National Seashore remains a national treasure for generations. Getting to this place was not easy. Getting this project off the ground took 7 years. Carteret County officials worked with the state of North Carolina, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the National Park Service to procure $6.9 million. Once funding was in place, the next step was to get through the environmental assessment process. The environmental assessment was put out for public comment to give state and federal agencies, organizations, and the public a chance to weigh in on the project. The finding of no significant impact was released in September 2023, and the contract that Next Generation Logistics signed was done in November. 7 years, and all that while, the channel that private and commercial boats use to take vacationers and anglers between Harker's Island and the lighthouse kept filling in, and it's been getting worse in recent years. Why have our infrastructure projects become so painfully slow and expensive? How is it that despite hundreds of years of engineering advances, the same project now takes 5 times as long? Did we just forget how to build things? Better safety isn't the answer. After all, countries like Germany and Canada build new infrastructure much faster and cheaper than we do. And they do it without a body count. Maybe they just don't have to factor in environmental concerns. Maybe it's all worth it here in the United States to do just that, to protect the planet. But here's the crazy part. Nothing about the National Environmental Protection Agency actually requires that of us. All you have to do is identify the environmental issues. There's nothing that says that you have to do anything about them. Thanks for making Emerald Isle Vacation Home your first watch of the day. As always, I appreciate you clicking on this video. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up because it always helps with YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, it's free. And ring the bell for new content alerts. If you subscribe and drop an email address in the comments below, I'll send you my ebook, Live Where You Vacation, all about the North Carolina Outer Banks, Bogue Banks, Emerald Isle, the Crystal Coast, and down east. Be safe and have fun, and I'll see you next week. Thanks very much.